I'm remembering a time 10 years ago. What was it? 12. So I guess 12 years ago. 2012 was 12 years ago. And it was my first corporate hotel job. I was working at a Marriott. I had worked at a hotel for a year before that, but it was a boutique hotel, small hotel. Now, my second job, I was working at the Renaissance in 2012, and I was a star. I was a star. They made me Employee of the Month. And there was 150 employees. They made me Employee of the Month on like my fourth month. They nominated me for Best of the Best of Palm Springs. But there was a little store next to the front desk that sold food items, and sometimes people would pay in cash and I would pocket it. This was a while ago, it's a long time ago. And I got fired, and I would have won. I would have gotten Best of the Best. Because these things are rigged, companies pay for them. And the company that I worked for, they terminated me before the ceremony, and I never won. A couple years later, a different employee from the same hotel won. Guess they put down a deposit, and it came through a couple years later through somebody else. Anyways, he was a great employee. No hate on him. Served every bit of whatever he got in goodness. And then I was unemployed for a while, and then I was a housekeeper for a couple years, and then I was made a front office manager at the Holiday Inn Express in Cathedral City. I did that for 4 years, and then I got tired of it and I left. And then I was a night auditor, and then COVID happened, and then I was a night auditor somewhere else, and then I was a front desk supervisor at the Hilton for a year, and then I moved to San Diego, and I was a front office manager based upon the experience that I'd earned up until that point. And I would have had that experience if I hadn't stolen from that pantry this $5 to pay for gas, or I was living in Sky Valley. It was to buy a joint. And so I would have had it though. If I hadn't done that, I kept that job and I got Best of the Best, I would have been made front office manager at that hotel. I would have had the experience and maybe moved to San Diego a long time ago, but here I am now. And, it's because shortly after I left there, I was made a front office manager somewhere else. Only for $1 an hour more than minimum wage. As opposed to, if I hadn't stolen, I would have been made a front office manager at salary, which is $50,000 a year in Palm Springs, I think. High 40s at minimum. So, regardless, to come around to my point, God has a plan for you. And I do walk with God. Or whatever the energy is out there that created you, that created consciousness, the original consciousness, the original thought, the creation of before man. To think that there was no thought before man is ignorant. To think that there was no energy out there that created it. I get it. But in my own mind, I can't fathom it. Like, I get why people would think whatever they think or have whatever doubts it is that they have, but ultimately there is something out there. It doesn't have a plan, but it loves you and it wants the best for you. And breaks my heart to think that there are people out there who hate it, whatever it was that created their consciousness. Because all it wants, in the end, is for you to be happy. You do have a destiny, and you can deny it. And if you deny it, if you choose to, then you won't fulfill it. And if you don't want to, then that's your choice. But ultimately, whatever was destined to happen to you is going to happen. The choice that's up to you is how.